Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Farah Zaid Khan, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry titan on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Vinay Rao. Hello, welcome, Mr. Rao. We are glad to have you here today with us on FaceTime with Leaders.
Hi, Falak. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm great. And let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So let me give you a quick brief about Mr. Rao. He is an executive with work experience honed and polished over nearly 3 decades in the electrical industry, specializing in the field of electrical contacts. He is a world-renowned figure in the electrical contacts industry and is ranked among the top 10 techno-commercial experts in the world. With an illustrious career spanning across various reputed companies from switchgear industry and electrical contacts industry, he has established himself as a thought leader and strategic thinker in this domain. Currently, he is making a significant impact as an executive board member at MMTC PAM India Private Limited in the capacity of VP and head of electrical contacts. He has set up one of the world's largest and world-class electrical contact manufacturing plant in Haryana. There, he is responsible for building and leading the electrical contact business. So, Mr. Rao, our viewers would like to know in brief about your career journey with important milestones and ways some of your decisions have shaped your career progress.
Thanks, Falak, for giving me this opportunity to share my history, the journey that I've gone through. I'm very sure that it is going to be inspiring for a lot of my colleagues as well as the viewers who want to do well in their life. I will try to be as brief as possible, but I know it is going to be a big challenge. I began my career almost 3 decades ago working for a control panel manufacturing company by the name Marine Electricals. We specialized into building of control panels for defense. I started selling relays to the electrical industry. We were importing relays from Denmark and selling it to the electrical industry. I spent almost 2 years there, and my mentor, the owner of the company, is and was instrumental in building what I am today. I am very glad to share that even after almost 30 years, I am still in touch with him and try to gain as much knowledge as possible. The learnings are continuing forever for me. And this is one of the most important things that I would like to share with our viewers. From the manufacturing of control panels, I shifted to a company by the name Morarji Dorman Smith, which is now Legrand, selling switchgear like MCBs, ELCBs, distribution boards. From Legrand, I shifted to S&S Power Switchgear, which is now Schneider Electric, and then worked for 5 years with Havels. The intent of sharing this name, Morarji Dorman Smith, S&S Power Switchgear, etc., is maybe our viewers might not remember these names, but you will all appreciate the fact that I was part of transition of all of these companies where I worked with Indian company and then transitioned into working for a European company. This has really helped me. The turning point came in 2003, June 2003, where I was to make a very important decision in my life. And it has always been that whenever people have discouraged me from doing something, telling me that something is not possible, that is where I have always done. And it has always proved good for me. My father always used to tell me that if you are doing something which everybody else is doing, it's not worth it. Try doing something which is unique and something which everybody claims that you cannot do it. So in the year 2003, I had to leave all of my database, all of my networking, all of my customers with whom I was selling switchgear, and then migrate to the electrical contact industry. It was as good as all of my job providers, my employers would turn to be my customers. And I will have to start from zero. Electrical contact industry, which is also known as the silver contact industry, is a very niche segment with very few manufacturers in the world. The only reason why I changed to this industry was because the chairman of this esteemed company promised me that he will build my life if I join him. And I tell you, he is going to be very proud of me from wherever he sees it, because I know the hard work that was required to be done. I joined a company by the name Hindustan Platinum in June 2003. I spent almost 11 years. Each 5 years was like a PhD for me, and the learnings was so nice, so good. I can use this phrase that I changed from being a boy to a man. The exposure that I received there, I traveled to almost 80 cities of the world, Falak. I visited best of the companies in the world. I could bring best of practices into our country. The objective was to value add to our nation, to our country in as much way as possible, so that we tell that the Indian manufacturers can do a global job. The transition was so good when I was working there that we could create lots and lots of milestones. From working for Hindustan Platinum, I shifted to Metalor, which is a Swiss company, in the year 2014. I spent 4 years there. Metalor is a 100% Swiss company, which was later purchased by KK Tanaka, which is a Japanese company. So I was also part of this transition there. In the year 2018, I shifted to MMTC PAMP. MMTC PAMP is a Indo-Swiss joint venture where MMTC is the Government of India enterprise and PAMP is a global giant headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland. The learnings are immense, Falak. When I worked with these European companies, I learned one important thing, which is it is not bad to say that I don't know something. That is where the learning begins, and it was an eye opener for me. Second, very important was the importance of punctuality. Summarizing overall for the viewers, my journey of almost 30 years has always been a learning experience. I am still in touch with all of my mentors. I meet them once in 2 years at least, because we have Elecrama exhibition, which is the exhibition of the electrical industry, where we get to meet each other. I spend at least 30 minutes with them, understanding them where I am today and what is it that I can do to make good for them as well as for the industry around us.
That's really very interesting and really great to know, I must say. So I want to know, like, going ahead, which of your job roles and responsibilities have you enjoyed the most and which have you faced difficulties with?
This is a very, very important question, Falak. And I tell you, this question is actually going to make me think in these lines about what was, see, enjoyable. I tell you, all of my job responsibilities have been really, really good. But the most interesting, if I might use that word, was when I was transiting from being a switchgear seller to entering into the electrical contact industry, which is the engineering of precious metal, not knowing anything about this subject. Falak, electrical contact manufacturing is something which is not in our taught in our colleges. You cannot open a book and understand how it is manufactured. You have to go through it yourself day in and day out. That is also the charm of this industry, and that is also the reason why we have very few people working in this industry. So it was very, very interesting when I started learning the nuances of this business, both technical as well as commercial. And important fact of this business was your margin lies with technology. The more you add to your technology, the more robust you make your technology, your margins increases, your business growth increases, etc. So answering your question, definitely Falak, my transition from the switchgear industry to the electrical contact industry was really interesting. Now when it comes to challenges, I tell you, for a professional, it is very important to have a work and personal life balance. So now when we end up working for global companies with multi-location facilities, and when you have factories, you sleep at one time, they sleep at another time, and when you have to interact with so many of the plants, one in Mexico, one in China, one in France, so the time zone, the difference in time is a really big challenge. So I took some time before I could adjust to that. For example, there could be days which would begin at 5 a.m. and end at almost 1 in the night. The challenges of doing what you do will always be there. But as far as you are passionate about what you're doing, I don't think these challenges are going to stop. These are, in fact, opportunities. I learned a lot about time management because of this. So the role of a leader is to make maximum out of these kind of challenges. Like I keep repeating, do something which no one else can do. At least try doing it. So this is what I try to do. And I know there are many professionals like me who work at different time zones, and they have also come out, why not me? So this was the only challenge I have faced so far, Falak, in my professional life.
That's great to know. And I want to know, like, what are some values and principles that you live by in your day-to-day work life?
This is very important. Values are very close to my heart.
Yes.
I have come out of humble beginnings, Falak, and that is also the reason why I value human life. For me, every human is something who is very important and needs to be respected. I cherish these kind of empathy a lot, and there have been several human beings who have been instrumental in shaping of my life in various ways, intentionally and unintentionally. I would take this liberty, Falak, to share a small story. When I was doing my first job, and after 2 years, Falak, I have this habit of interacting with each and every employee since I started my career, right from the gatekeeper until the boss. I would interact with everyone when I pass by, asking them, wishing them, etc. 2 years after I completed my first assignment, there was the security guard who gave me a cutout of Times of India for a walk-in interview. During those days, Times of India would publicize and advertise job opportunities. I went for this walk-in interview and I got selected. The company was Morarji Dorman Smith, which is now Ligra, but the story starts now. Next day, I reached out to my company and I thanked the security guard for giving me, and I told him, Thank you, sir, for giving me this advertisement of Morarji Dorman Smith for a walk-in interview." And he tells me, "Sir, I don't know Morarji Dorman Smith." I said, "What, guy? You gave me this advertisement. You told me to go for a walk-in interview." And I went there. He said, "No, sir, I don't know Morarji Dorman Smith." So I went in, I brought out this cutout and I showed it to him. "See, this is what you gave me." He looked at it. He reversed it. He said, "Sir, I had given you the advertisement of Philips and you have gone for the interview of Morarji Dorman Smith," because the advertisement would be both sides. And both of these
Oh
jobs
my God.
suited me. Why I am sharing this, Falak, is there are several steps. Everything is a circle. What you
Right.
give it comes back to you, but how it comes back is not in your control. If you have your eyes and ears open,
True.
opportunities knock and you have to make the most of what you need to do. So this is something which I need to share because it was magical moment for my life and actually the change or turnaround. So I value human life. I respect every human being for what they are. Each one is going through their battles. This is one thing that I like. Second principle, my value is I always honor my commitment. I never go back on my commitments, come what may. I think before I commit. My principles is that I always appreciate in public. And if there is any scope for improvement, I would always spend some moments one to one or in isolation and then bring it up. And I have always seen that this brings about the best in the person. They appreciate this fact because everybody can have some flaws. They need to correct it, right? This is very important. I am always punctual. You must have noticed that, Falak. I am
Yes, yes,
always
of course.
before time. Being through the Swiss culture, I
That's really
appreciate
very
people.
important.
Exactly, exactly. And I value time. I value time and I am always before time. And I do not know whether that is a strength, but presently I consider this as strength, which is very important for me. And most importantly, I am a team man. I always believe that one person cannot do all of the work. There needs to be a team who needs to do this. I value credibility.
Right.
Credibility is extremely essential for anybody to do well in life. With credibility, if you go a little bit ahead, it is also about reliability. So
Right.
you need to know, and I will say I always live by these values and principles, Falak.
That's really very wonderful, I must say, and really great values that you live by, because I'm sure that, each day it just helps you grow more and more. This is what I think. So when we like going ahead, if we talk about ESG, how and when did you develop an interest in ESG and corporate governance?
Yes, I would like to break this question into two parts. One is related to ESG and another is related to corporate governance.
Yes.
Because both of these ideas came to me at different times. So I cannot couple it together. Corporate governance came into me. You might not be aware that I am associated with a sports club in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai. It is Citizens Crusade where like-minded people have come together and we built sports for Navi Mumbai. And I am part of the committee who runs this club. I was the office bearer as joint secretary, and all done by the citizens of Navi Mumbai to bring about the best. That is where the corporate governance came in for the first time. Second time it came in when I joined MMTC PAM and where I was assigned the role of building a world-class plant and one of the best in the world. The first interaction that I had with my promoter from Switzerland was there is use of cadmium in our industry, Falak, which is not ROHS compliant. It is considered as hazardous. So the first sentence that my promoter used with me was, he said, Vinay, we want you to build this world-class manufacturing plant. Whenever we set out for any industry, we always set out to be the world leaders. But if you feel that not using cadmium is going to stop you from being the world leader, please do not start this business. First sentence, and that is where I got to know about ESG, governance, etc. And I really understood how promoters are made for that. It is not about business or being the best or being world leaders. It is also about our responsibility towards the environment, towards planet Earth. I am happy to share that my plant is completely compliant, zero discharge. In fact, we have also set up one of the best e-waste recovery plant where we can have it sustainable. It is as good as circular economy. So answering about your ESG principle, when I took over the assignment of building this world-class plan, that is when this ESG interest came in, also with the responsibility that I need to be completely compliant and environment friendly and do a lot of CSR by giving back to the society around us. So this happened. The corporate governance thing happened almost the first bird, that is the Nehru Gymkhana thing happened almost in the year 2003. The ESG thing happened in 2018. I would also like to share one of these incidents that has happened when I was beginning to work with Metalor, which is a Swiss company. When I visited Metalor's corporate office, I was introduced to the CEO of Metalor. He got himself and myself introduced. He picked up a book which was almost 35 pages. He gave it to me. He said, please read it. I said, yes, sir. I said, if you feel that you can comply by all of this written in these 38 pages, only then start business in India. Otherwise, we don't care. This is what is very much imbibed in myself about first taking care of the ESG needs, the needs of the environment being completely compliant, having proper governance. And this started way back in 2003 and the ESG thing as early as 2014 with Metalor and then completely in 2018.
So really like this approach of yours. So going ahead, I would like to ask, like as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
The values that I bring on the table is more about being non-compromising towards these facts. There are certain occasions where it is a thin dividing line between will do, won't do. The head of the business, the leader has to be crystal clear about what he will do and what he won't do. And I am very clear about the needs of governance, the compliance needs, the compliance requirement. For your information, Falak, in the year 2008, July, European Union brought out a directive on ROHS, restriction on hazardous substances, where they listed a few of the elements which were banned beyond a certain percentage. It took them almost 15 years to actually implement it in practicality, at least for my industry, where there were no options available. But me, as a ESG expert, saw to it that in none of my assignment I would use cadmium out of choice, so that we are well ahead of time. And also, we do not cause any harm to the environment around us. Second is optimal usage of raw material. Especially when we are in the precious metal industry, we need to see that we use the precious metal as optimum as possible so that we have the planet which is sustainable. We have a lot of responsibilities towards our future generation. We have to live this planet better. If you have read one of my articles, if I'm not sure if you have read, then I've told that my philosophy in life is to leave people and place better than I found them. And I live by that. This is the driving factor for me, Falak, which drives all of my ESG decisions. It also drives all of my compliance decisions related to what is acceptable and what is not.
That's really very wonderful, I must say. So when we talk about technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? And what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, and Web 3.0?
Falak, you are doing a big mistake by asking me this question. The session cannot end. It will not end if I go on and on and on this topic. But I will try to be
Yes,
as
the
brief
technology
as
expert.
possible, because this is one of the things which is very closest to my heart.
Yes.
As far as my field is concerned, there have been a lot of technological changes, including bringing in environment-friendly material into the industry, which could replace all of the hazardous materials. We have seen a lot of automations happening with your robotic arms, etc. So this has also helped us. Now, when I go to IoT, when you mentioned IoT, ML, etc., I would expand IoT to IIoT, the industrial IoT. This has been a revolutionary change for the industry. It has helped the industry immensely, but I will not conclude on this saying that this is the future, because I want to add a lot on this. IIoT has helped us, one, in asset management. It has helped us in product development. The product development times have reduced a lot because now you can develop the prototypes. You can actually create and simulate the environment where you know what can happen if something goes wrong before time. But one point which I think most of the industry experts could miss is the help of this in supply chain management. The inventory managements have become so smooth and so nice with multi-location facilities that you get to know well in advance, and just in time can be followed when you get in all of these inventories managed. Last but not the least, the idea of good maintenance. You can do a lot of preventive maintenance well ahead of time because these tools allow you to know the probability or possibility of your machine as well as tool breaking down. You also mentioned about Web3. I know this is going to be the future. We see the series operating. We see a lot of artificial intelligence things, MLs playing a big role. But the point I would like to make here, Falak, is I was a guest lecturer at a management college. And what I will be sharing with you all, with the viewers, is going to actually give you sleepless nights. The faculty at that college actually took me aside and they spent half an hour when I shared this sentence. I would like to share this with you all. Is we all know that change is inevitable, but the change is going to be so rapid now. It's going to be so fast. It is as good as you are walking in the airport on an escalator and someone suddenly increases the speed and you get off balanced. So if we do not make ourselves ready for this change,
Right.
we might get imbalanced. And important part of it is, I told the third year college students there that don't get surprised in the future that the professors teaching the third year students come and tell them, please unlearn what you learned in the last 2 years because things have changed. Relearn in the third year because things have changed. What you learned, it is no more relevant. So things, technologies are going to be irrelevant very fast, but it could all be for the good. But when we are speaking of IIoT at this moment of time, there is somebody who is thinking beyond. And maybe tomorrow you will call me and tell me, sir, you were right. Yesterday I read this and IIoT is now history. So these are the challenges. When my father used to go to the bank, he would fill the pay slip at the bank. Then came the ATMs. No one would have imagined that from the click of a button at home, we could transfer money to anywhere in the world. Technology is changing at rapid pace. We as leaders should be ready to embrace all of these changes in technology, but keeping in mind that this is not the end, this is the beginning.
So really wonderful thoughts, I must say. I'm also like actually I feel I'm also learning a lot while just interviewing you. Really great, I must say. I'm sure like that is the reason why you've come so far and like with lots of success. And obviously I wish you more and more ahead. So
Thank you.
talking ahead, like, as you know, we are building a community of industry magnets. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about this initiative taken about by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
I would like to begin first by thanking Zishan for this very good initiative and also Lovelace for this. The reason being that I have gone through all of these modules. First, I will share how it has helped me. See, being at this chair doesn't mean that I know everything. No human being can claim that he or she knows everything. There are a lot of things beyond, and the learning is forever, right? Every day there is something new that comes up. The curriculum and the topics that Zishan has covered, I have seen each of his videos, the learnings. During good old days, we used to say that if there is a laddu, bundi laddu, right? And the ants have to carry this laddu. What they do, they break this into individual bundis. They carry each bundi to the top and then they reach faster. What I believe Zishan has done is he has broken all of these modules into minor bundis, which makes people like me easy to learn. And I'm very sure people who have gone through this module would appreciate that. All of these smaller 15 minutes, 10 minutes videos actually helps us to be focused, to learn immensely, and also understand. Mind you, the topics those are covered are a lot, but when you actually go through these courses, you do not realize what you have learned and how much you have covered, which is really, really good. And besides, after each module, there are questions or the tests those are conducted. Usually it's a practice that you complete entire of the module and then one fine day you do the test. But this intermediate test also allows you to understand how much you have learned. If you miss something, then you go back to the module to see, oh, I was not knowing this. Let me learn this. This really helps. So the module and the way he has created it is wow. I really appreciate it. It allows you to have a good recall value of what you have learned. Now, coming back to creating this database of industry leaders, etc., I tell you, there are a lot of, there is a pool of lot of intellects available in our great nation. Our great nation has a lot of talent, but what was missing was maybe information, not even knowledge. I always believe it is information, knowledge, wisdom. In the case of Directors Academy, I would like to say that it was reversed for me. I had the wisdom that I should have knowledge, but I was not having knowledge about where I could get all of this at one place. Then I reached out to the information through your academy so that I could get information and then filter it and convert it into knowledge. This pool of intellects, the experts, is really going to help not only our country but also the globe overall, because when we have pool of these ideas coming in, remember Falak, these are all aura. Knowledge is also a kind of transmission of energy from one person to another. So when we build up network of these kinds of individuals, it is actually going to add more than adding less. It's just like you have a candle, you're lighting the lamp. The light doesn't reduce, it increases further. So I would like to thank Zishan and congratulate him and his team for doing such a wonderful job. I wish that you spread this across the globe, because we have Indians not only in India but across the world who want these kind of knowledge sets available to them. There are children of entrepreneurs who are in the transition stage. It need not be that a person needs to get as an independent director. These knowledges should be available for everyone who wants to have good corporate governance and move this forward. I wish Zishan all the best. Please inform him that I am really happy with the way they have done all of these courses, and he should agree and believe that this is just the beginning. I know that there are only almost 6,400 independent directors who have passed all of this test at the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. We have around 4,000 people who are exempted from this examination. So the pool set today is only around 10,000 to 11,000 people. We should see to it that how we expand it further to 25,000 to 50,000 or so, and then see that we interact frequently so that knowledge sharing can happen often. So I hope this answers your question. I can go beyond and beyond
Yes,
in praising him. So
definitely.
I'm very happy about the way this has been done. Very nice for us.
Definitely. And I must say that very nicely and very beautifully you explained like what WDZ does, and also how you've complemented it so nicely. It's really very commendable, I must say. So it was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Vinay Rao, for joining us today. We wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds. Thank you so much once again for joining us today on FaceTime with Leaders and sharing all your wonderful values, principles that you live by, and your career journey with us. I'm sure, everyone watching this, it is going to help them grow in their careers too.
Thank you so much, Falak. God bless you and Jai Hind.
Thank you. God bless you too. Take care. Yeah.